at. Like, what do you think that verse means then?
What specific verse?
What you're referencing. What you're referencing? What do you think that it means?
Yeah, which specific verse?
Yeah, you're talking about man and women joining in union. Why do you think the Bible would go out of the way to use such a language and not just say when two people are to
All
join
it
in
does
union?
is describe that a man and a woman join together in marriage, not that men and women ought to only be the ones to join together in marriage. Okay,
Why would the
so
Bible
that's
say
one
that?
thing, and then two, I would also say like there's a few things we can say with this. One, we can say there's not even an argument from Christianity to even prescribe that being gay is wrong, and then two, we can also say that there's no argument to say Christianity is true to even say that because of Christianity that being gay is wrong because of Christianity.
Okay, well, there is definitely, the Christianity would
Stream
prescribe
Elements
being
said
gay as wrong.
K-Bon
I mean, and
Psy
you're,
K is now live.
I don't even
talking
accept
about
that.
as a man lies with a woman being an
Streaming
abomination.
Star Wars
A man is
Jedi.
lying
What
with a
verse
woman
is
being
that?
an abomination.
Survivor.
To be honest, I don't
New
have my Bible in
game.
front of me, and I wouldn't
EP3
want to swipe out
Jedi.
and
You're
look it
referencing
up.
Stream
Leviticus.
Elements said
Do
K-Bon
you know what Leviticus 25:44 through 46 says?
Psy K is now live.
Leviticus 25:44 through 46 explicitly
Streaming
defines
Star
that you
Wars
can own people
Jedi.
as slaves
Survivor.
Yeah, I mean,
New
I
game.
don't. I mean, if you want me to
and
look at
pass
the
them
New
down
Testament,
to your children as inherited property
EP3
for life.
Jedi.
there's
Survivor.
definitely anti-homosexuality verses in the New Testament as well. I would have to, go look that up.
And I think that those have a lack of certainty in the meaning that even describe that it's wrong to engage in gay intercourse in the first place. And even so, even if it does say that gay intercourse is wrong, it doesn't say all forms of intercourse are wrong, and it also doesn't describe specifically marriage or kissing or anything like that, a romantic relationship to be wrong.
I mean, I could potentially even. I mean, I wonder why or what your basis of trying to get at the kissing part is. Because if I granted that, oh man, okay, two men kissing, whatever, and then I would say, okay, would you then say that the homosexuality, sex is wrong? You'd still say no. So what's your point in trying to get me to say that like the Bible doesn't say anything about two men kissing?
Well, I'm just saying that you don't have an argument from either basis. You can choose to argue either basis, but the point I would say is that either way you try to, it's going to be wrong.
Okay, so why would you say it's right or it should be allowed? Because couldn't I make the argument?
Why should being gay be allowed?
No, hold on. The argument you're making for pro-gay, could I not make for same-sex incest? It's not harmful to anybody potentially, and it doesn't wouldn't result in children with deformities, etc. I could make a similar argument to why you would be okay with homosexuals for couples.
Okay, so hold up. Let me just clarify real quick. You think that should be viewed the same as being gay?
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying from your view, I'm saying why.
So you're saying an internal criticism of my view would be that you could say that, oh, what could I say is wrong with? Well, I could describe plenty of things, right? One, the specific, the fact that you grow up in the same sort of household condition, right? We could say that is wrong. We could say it's wrong to have a close enough biological relation. That could be something that we describe as wrong. We could point to countless things.
Why would you say that's wrong if it's not causing people harm and it's two consenting adults? I guess is what I'm even trying to put to you.
We would say that inevitably would limit the ability to make a consenting sort of decision.
How so? Let's say they're the same age. There's no power dynamic one over another. Like, I mean, I could definitely find a situation and when how are you even going to say that?
Okay, so wait, hold up. Just to clarify, you're saying, so the criticism here, let me just say, is like, because you couldn't say a reason, that means that you specifically can't say it's wrong. Is that what it is?
No, I'm trying to understand, like, if I asked you why homosexuality should be allowed, you're saying, oh, because why not? And you could give me a bunch of reasons. You could say they love each other. You say they're adults, they can make their own decisions. And I'm saying
you would have to be able to make an argument for the fact that it wouldn't be allowed. Because you're making a legal argument.
Well, I'm making a legal and a moral argument, right? Because we're not, this wouldn't be a legal argument if we're talking about Christianity or the Bible at all, right?
Yeah, you're making a moral argument that because you just feel like it, that therefore it's wrong, right? That's your moral argument, and you're saying you justify that by. providing a case of emotivism specifically. Well, it doesn't seem like you know what emotivism is, but you're trying to make a claim that because you wouldn't have a specific reason to say that is wrong, isolating for all these factors for why we would consider it wrong. Is that the argument?
Well, sure, yeah. Well, let's go with that because, I mean, the reason why you would support homosexuality is just because people should be able to do what they want to do, right?
I can't deem anything wrong with it, and that I don't have an intuition against it.
Okay,
there's no basis for having an intuition against it.
But does that matter to you, having intuition against it? Because
yes.
Isn't intuition just a feeling or an inkling towards something?
Yes, I mean, I think that that's going to be something that is going to matter to some extent, right, within the way that I'm going to view it.
When lots of people, I guess I can't say most, but when probably almost 40 to 50% of people have an intuition against two men, sleeping together being wrong, what does that matter in your mind?
I think that that's not their actual intuition. I think that's in like their true intuition. It's more their socialized intuition.
How would you be able to make a difference?
I think because you can have conversation and reduce it down.
But so I guess that would just have to be case by case basis.
Do you think it would be easier to convince someone that it's not wrong to be gay than it is to say that it's not wrong to have it? I think it would be a lot easier to convince someone wrong. Wait, let me just clarify. I think it'd be a lot easier to convince someone that it's not wrong to be gay than to say that it's not wrong to have it.
No, of course, and I think this is wrong. What I'm trying to say is I think your argument for why it's okay to be gay is just because it's not harming anybody or because, your intuition is for it. I'm just saying there could be a lot of
I'm going to be willing to, I'm going to be able to show them that it conflicts with their true personal values. Because I think that their views specifically on gay people are predicated mainly off of religious norms.
But do you care about other people's personal values if it, it goes against yours? Like if the whole society turned against, people being gay and it was like a vast majority of people that were against it, their intuition was against it, you would still say it's still something that you should want to see in society.
Well, my perspective is based on my intuition, not other.
Yeah, well, I know, but you're... Okay, so I understand it's not about, the majority or the percentage, but, if it's just my view versus yours, and it's just about intuition, who's to say whose intuition is correct?
Well, from each other's perspective, it's going to be indexed to our own views. So I can give words to describe specifically why my view is going to be true in typical circumstances or to why it could be convincing, but we might not be able to come to a resolution on who's right in the scenario, right? Specifically, in terms of something that could be independent of each other that could define this.
Yeah, because isn't right just based on the majority in society? I mean, we vote on things with laws and stuff.
No. What's right is dependent on your own perspective and your own determination.
Yes, but we also have to make judgments for society of what we want to see in society and what is right, and then we just go with that.
Yeah, and obviously all of those are going to be predicated off of our own personal values. Even if you hold from a religious perspective, you don't believe that just because something's sinful, it should be illegal. There are certain things you think should be illegal, certain things you don't think should be illegal. That's not fully defined by your religious views, so you inevitably have to define those based upon personal values, irrespective of your religious views.
I would say that, but I mean, if you could, and we're not going to be able to do this here. In fact, it probably would never happen, until we died. If you could actually prove Christianity to be 100% true, then it would actually just be from your religious views, because you can really filter everything through your religious views. You could do that.
I disagree, and I think that I can prove Christianity false.
I mean, it would be hard to prove Christianity 100% false or 100% true. Obviously.
I don't think so.
Same with proving God false. You couldn't.
Let me give you a simple argument.
Okay.
Do you think God is perfect, the Christian God?
Yes, God is perfect.
Is all things considered something perfect better than all things considered something not perfect?
Hold on. I think you're just trying to twist me up. What does that mean? Can you like walk through that?
Taking all things in consideration of that exist. If all things that exist, taking all into consideration, is perfect, is that better than taking all things in consideration what is in existence is not perfect?
Hold on. All things that exist are not perfect, though.
I'm not asking a question of whether or not this is true. I'm asking a question of, given that this is true, is it better or is it worse? So I'll ask the question one more time. A condition where everything within existence is perfect, is that better than a condition where everything within existence is not perfect?
I'm sorry. I guess I'm trying. I think I might be getting ahead. I'm trying to understand like what the point of this question is. I think obviously the first one would be.
Is perfection
true?
More desirable than imperfection?
Yes.
Okay. So if we have something where all things in existence